Alright, so we live again tonight. Sunday Night Live. This one is for the computer science students who are struggling with their IA and probably just need to get some basic concepts of how to code your IA. So this is ComSci IA. Continuing from a previous video that we had, and right, just to remind you, you're in Sunday Night Live. My name is Mr. Charles. It's makeITsimpleTT, and it's the brand on the YouTube channel. So, if you need classes, hit me up. Check my Instagram if you have questions. I'll try to answer them. So let's jump right into it. Carnival Sunday, and it's very possible that a lot of y'all are partying your life away, but the stream must go on. The stream must go on. So what we had so far from last week, just to recap, is that we have this text file called hospital.txt, and it has some names and some names, a first name or surname, ID, surname, first name, age, and status, right? So this is the text file that goes along with it. So this is the ID here, this is the surname, this is the first name, this is the age, and this is the status. We, based on the question that we had, the status would be critical or different things. Let's see if I could find where it is. Structures and questions, so should have done it. Right, so this is the question here. If only it would open up faster. Right, so our question says, right, so I basically taken a homework question that I usually give in my class and turning it into a IA. So a status of 1 is good, a status of 2 is stable, and a status of 3 is critical. So we want to search the array and display all the patients that could be able to go to departures, which will be people that are good, people that are stable, which will be warded, and intensive care, which will be critical patients, right? So what we have so far in our code is we have the file, we have the information, so we could read from the file and print back out the information, right? So I have the read from the file that was done last week, and then I could test it to print it back out. So let me just show you all that works. Alright, so I get the information and it's printing back out exactly the people that are in the text file. First one is Sheldon Cooper, next one is Batman, and then if you scroll down, last person should be Will Smith, and they're all reading properly. So now that my text file is reading properly, the next thing that I have to do is write some functions to do the things that I need to do. So first function I'm going to write is do a ID search. Now you could do functions to do all sorts of different things. There are some functions that are easy to do, which will be like print back out stuff, but I'm just going to show you basic functions that will do a linear search, and the linear search will search the array of structures to find whoever I want to find, right? So this one is called function to search for somebody. So I'm going to create this as a void function. There are two types of functions, void and variable functions, well, return functions, right? Void means it's not going to return anything. Because it's not going to return anything, oh wait, before I do that, notice I have my main here. I want my main to be the last thing that I do, last one that I have. So I'm putting every function in front of the main. If you put the functions after the main, you will end up in problems because they won't, how the compiler goes is it reads through all the functions, then the last thing it has to do is read the main. Once it reads the main, it will stop. So if you put a function down here, search, and you start to write your function, what will happen is that the compiler will stop at the end of this main here and be like, I good. and it wouldn't read what's there. So the only way to avoid that is to prototype your functions, but I don't want to like force prototyping on you. You could Google it if you want, right? But trying to make it simple, and making it simple means putting the functions at the start. So void ID search. Now for this ID search, I want to get the structure, and in this function, I'm going to call the structure S, right? Because it's should I call it S or P? I'll call it P, right? So this means here I'm going to receive the structure, array of structures, and in this function its name is P. Because the name of the structure is P, that means everything I do inside here is going to have to name P. Then I'm going to have to do int ID, which is the ID I'm searching for, and then I'm going to do int size. That means I need to know how much things I'm actually searching for. So I have space for this function now, and I'm going to write the function. So I have to do int. No, it's a void function, so I just want to print it back out. Okay, good. So I'm going to say for, I'll create a C, a counter, int C equal to 0. Right, and I'm going to say for C equals 0, C less than size, comma, C plus plus. This for loop here is going to allow me to go through the whole array of structures, but only stop at a particular size. That means whatever size I say it is, if I say that the size of the array of structures is 20, that means it will go through all 20 and look for what I'm looking for. What am I looking for? I am looking for ID. So I'm going to say if ID, which is the ID that I got up here, if this ID is equal to EC dot ID, out of double equal sign, because I'm comparing, right? So comparing, whenever you're comparing, you put a double equal sign. Whenever it's assignment, you put a single equal sign, right? If PC ID is equal to PC dot, then what do? I am going to print F the patient was found. Here is the name. The name is going to be a %s. %s. Right. So what I want to do is I want to get an ID, and I want to search for that ID. If I find that ID, I want to print out the name of the patient, right? So I'm going to put a comment. This function will find the search for a patient ID and print out the name of the patient. Good. So we're going to do that. So what is going to happen is the name of it is ID search. Struct record P is the array of structures it's expecting to get. The ID that I'm going to look for is what is going to be sent by the user. And then the size is the size of the array of structures that I would have sent from the main, right? How functions work is that you have to send information from the main, and this is the information that this function is expecting. So because it's expecting that, I have to make sure that I code it appropriately so that it will expect these things. When I get to the main, I'll show you how to make sure these two things match up, right? So the patient was found here, the name SS, and then I'm going to put the what I want to print out. So I want to print out P location C dot first name, and then I want to print out P location C location. Why am I getting curly brackets? Okay, C dot surname. But I'll print out the person's first name and surname. I'll have a backslash n here. Oh, that's correct. Let's see. What's your problem? I should spell first properly. First name. Alright, so our structure compiled properly so far. But what happens if I do the search, which is the for loop, which is going to search through everything, and then if to decide if it's there or not? What happens if I do the search and it doesn't find the ID after the whole for loop is finished? What I have to do is I have to put some sort of print to let the people know what is happening. So I'm going to have to print printf the patient ID was not found. Okay, so I think we should be good there in terms of logic. What happens is it receives the array structure is called P. It receives an ID from the user and it receives a size, and then if it will do the search. So this for loop here is what is going to do the search. Search. If it does find that ID, it's going to print out the first name or surname. If it doesn't find the ID, it'll print out the patient ID was not found. And the problem is this is going to print out the patient ID was not found at the end. So I'll leave. Okay, I want to show you all how this works, and then I'll show you how we could fix it, right? So now I go to my main. So after I've done the test, remember we did the read from the file, we checked it, we got the size, we have the size there. So now I'm going to call the function, and because it's a void function, it's going to just read the search value. So I'm going to put the word ID search. So ID search is the function. What does the function expect? It expects to get a structure. It expects to get an ID. It expects to get a size. So in the main, the name of my structure is P. It expects to get an ID, which is supposed to be search, and it's supposed to get a size, which is size. Do we have a size from before? Yes, we had a size because we kept track of how much stuff we were getting. So I put the size there. But you realize I don't have a search value. So that means I have to get the user to print a search value. So I'm going to have to ask printf, please enter a patient to search for. So I ask please enter the patient to search for, and then I put a scanf, and I'll read the string %s, and then I put and the search. Did I declare search on top here? No. Char search. No, it's an integer. Right, so I set the value for search is equal to 0. Now s is up %t. Right. So I asked the user what the ID a patient ID to search for. Right, good. And then I say scanf %d search. What am I going to search for? Whatever number they put in. So if we compile this, guy here shouldn't have any errors. What's supposed to happen is after I print out everything, it should ask me, please enter ID to search for. Based on my text file, I have, let's try 78. So I put the 78 in, and the patient was found. Here's the name, Sheldon Cooper. So it looked, and I found the 78 as Sheldon Cooper. But you realize it still said patient ID was not found. Problem is, in my for loop, in my loop here, I have patient ID was not found. So there's no way for me to check to see if the patient ID was not found. So I have to come up with some sort of way to let the person know if the patient ID was not found. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to let this function be just like that. Please enter the ID to search for, and I'm going to put 78, and it says yes, it returns Sheldon Cooper. But if I run it again and I put an ID that doesn't exist, like 111, it just, oh, 111 is there. Damn it. Let me find a patient ID that doesn't exist. Alright, let's try 222. Right, so I run 222 and nothing happens. There's no way for me to know that it didn't find it, because I don't have a message to say what was going on. So this function works, it does find it, but for your IA you have to be able to take things into consideration, like errors. So if they don't find the patient ID, then they're supposed to say, well, we have a problem. So what we can do is change this to a int function, right? So instead of using a void function, I will use, did I copy it by? No, I don't need to leave this old one there, right? If you need to see how this old one works, you can go back to it. So I'm going to change this to an int function, right? And instead of, as soon as I get a hit, I'm going to return 0. If, however, I don't get a hit, I'm going to return 1. Right. Now what's going to happen here is, if I get an ID that matches, it will return 0, and this function will exit immediately, one time, because we are assuming that no ID is repeated, right? So once you find a correct ID, you have to print it. If, however, the function goes through the whole loop and doesn't get an ID, it will return 1. So now I have to put some sort of logic in my main that's going to put that in place, right? So I'll create a variable called status, set it to 0, and then I'm going to say now, because I'm changing this to a int function, it must return something. You can't, with a void function, you don't have to return anything. Or with an int function, there must be some return. So there must be either return 0, return 1, or return some variable or some number. When you return that, which is what I'm going to do here in line 62, I'm going to have to catch the variable. So I'm going to have to put status is equal to ID search. That means when I do this ID search, whatever number comes back, I want to store it in status. I'm going to do the whole ID search. The whole function will work as it's supposed to. It will get all the stuff that it had to do, which it just did. Find if the patient was there. If the patient was there, I'll print it out and then return 0. But if it returns 1, however, that means I didn't get a patient. So my logic inside here is going to be, if status is equal to 1, print f, the patient was not found. That means that if I got back a value of 1 as the status, that means patient was not found. And I put that there, and this is a really simple way of doing it. You don't have to fight up. Right, and because it's one line, I don't have to put the curly brackets for the if, but if you want to, you could put the curly brackets. Right, so let's see. It prints back out all the stuff. I need to search for 111. They give us SpongeBob. All right, good. Then I search for next ID 222. It will say the patient was not found. Why did it say the patient was not found? Is because the status returned as 1 from when I called this function, and it was stored inside status, which is what happened here. So the logic is get all the stuff you need for the structure. Cool, good, that works. The next thing you have to do now is go through your for loop and see if you find the ID that they gave. If you did find the ID that they gave, print out the name of the patient and then return 0. Once the return 0 hits, it just jumps straight out of the function. There's no continuation. It will just be like, all right, I reached the return, so we stop. If, however, the whole for loop runs, then the next command is return 1. So it will return 1 and jump out the for loop. When I get back, if status is equal to 1, then I'll just print the patient was not found, because obviously I had that there. That's what happened. So let me just kind of neaten up this. I'll put some tabs with these so I could get it in like one line, so it wouldn't keep the program wouldn't keep doing that, because it's kind of annoying for me to have to keep scrolling all the time. Let's see how it look now. Right, so that's just, I printed it out in such a way so that it'll be neater. Okay, good. So if I want to search for a patient, I search for 233. Good. Patient there, Steve Jobs. Right. Now, there are multiple things I could do now, but I want to show you all how to get the program to run consistently. Okay, you realize every time I run the program, it runs once, 111, and then it'll just be like exited. So I don't want it to exit. I want the program to actually run over and over and over and over. So after I read all the information from the file, I want to create a while loop. The while loop is going to make this program continue over and over and over. In order to do that, we're going to create a new function called menu, and the menu is going to determine whether the program will continue or not. So before this function, I'm going to add a menu. Remember, all the functions must be before the main, right? Unless you're prototyping. If a teacher taught you how to prototype, then go ahead and prototype. If a teacher didn't teach you how to prototype, just make sure all your functions are before the main, okay? So I'm going to create a menu function. So a menu function is usually a return function, because we return a value, menu. But the menu doesn't have to receive anything. The menu just goes on display. So we don't put anything in the brackets because the menu doesn't expect anything back, anything from us. So I'm going to print welcome to the program. Welcome to the hospital. Star. Oh shucks, I didn't put printf. Printf. Yeah. Right, welcome to the hospital. After putting welcome to the hospital, what do I do now? I print press please choose from the following menu options. So I'm going to give menu options now. Printf. 1. Search for patient ID. And 2. View all rewarded patients. Right, we'll get to these functions eventually. Printf 3 view all critical patients. Right, and then printf 4 view patients to be discharged. Right, and then my last thing, 5 press 999 to exit the program. Right, so what we're concerned about is, okay, this is what it's going to print out when the menu comes up, but the part where it says press 999 to exit the program, that's what I want to happen when the user puts in the number, right? So now let's test to see if this menu is working. Now this is just a test to see if the menu is working. So right after I read the info from the file and test to see if it's working properly. Good. So I'm going to just kind of minimize these here because I know those working. Right, so what I'm going to do now is print, let's call the menu. Right, so calling the menu is as simple as typing the word menu and putting no bracket, because we don't have to send anything to the menu, so this space here is empty, nothing is inside there, because we're not actually sending anything to the menu just going to display. And, but it's an int function, so it's supposed to return something, so let me just change it to a void first. Let's see if the menu actually displays. I should put \n here. \n, \n, \n. I wasn't looking too shiny, too neat there. Okay, good. So now my menu is displaying, and it's saying please enter patient ID to search for us now. Okay, so this one here with this printf please enter ID to search for, we're gonna comment that out just for now because that was a function just to show you how to write a function, a basic function. But now we eventually gonna put that in the menu, right? So now let's try to make this menu work properly. So right now the menu comes up and the program ends, but I don't want that to happen. I want them to actually put in a number. So what I'm going to do is I have to go into menu and I'm going to have to read a value. So I'll create an integer int choice equals 0 because that's what I'm going to put, and I'm going to put scanf %d and then comma and choice. Right, so I'm going to scan the choice, and now I'm going to change this back to an int function because I wanted to return the choice that was made. So return choice. Based on the choice now, I'm going to figure out what happens next. So I have to create a variable called menu choice. Sorry, I'm going to create choice. That means I have to declare choice here. Okay, so choice is equal to 0. For those of you all on the live, you can ask questions if you want, because sometimes I tend to go kind of fast, but I hope that you're following. Alright, so I created a variable choice in order to figure out what the person chose. And I said choice is equal to menu because when I call menu, what is going to happen is it's going to zip up to this menu here, display all these things, and then get a value, a number from them, and then return that number for me, right? Once it returns that number, as long as that number is not 999, I have to continue. So what I have to check for is if I get the return as 999, meaning the person pressed 999. So I'm going to say choice equal the menu, and then while choice is, sorry, open brackets, choice is not equal to 999, what do I want to do? I want to do this stuff inside here. Stuff that I'm going to do inside here could be anything. So the stuff that I'm going to do inside here could be anything. What matters is I could do this, but what matters is I must make sure I put the menu at the end again, because I must make sure I get the choice. I must make sure I get the choices equal to the menu at the end, or else it won't continue looping. So let's follow the logic. I create a variable called choice. I call the menu. When I call the menu, what is the user going to do? I either put in 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this should be 999 to exit the program. Right, good. So they choose all the following menu options. 1, search for patient ID. 2, do that. 3, do that. 4, do that. And then 999 to exit the program. So they will see these things and they will have a choice of 1, 2, 3, 4 or 999. While the choice that they would have gotten from the menu, which is here, is not 999, I want to go into the loop. What is going to happen when I go into the loop? Stuff. I commented this out because I don't want this stuff to happen yet. I just wanted to prove to you that it will keep showing back the menu until I put 999. So let's see what happens. Do I have any syntax errors? Nope. Alright. So welcome to the hospital. Please choose from the following menu options. I press 1. I press 2. Press 3. Press 4. Press 5. Press 6. Press 7. Press 8. Press 345. It will keep going. But the moment I put in 999, it's going to stop. It's exited. So that means it's proven that it works. So while the choice is not 999, I have to do these things. What's inside here? What is inside here? This is where I'm going to make the decision of what I do. Right? Remember, this is very basic. This is not creating functions to do every single thing. This is just creating the functions that you need. For your IA, you need 5 functions to work. All you need is 5 functions to work, and the menu counts as a function. So if you get a menu to work, that means you only need 4 more functions to work, which could be a print, a addition, a search. It's recommended that you do a search because linear searching is basic and you should be able to do a linear search. Right, so let's see if I could just do the if now to get this one function to work. Alright, so this function here is that. So what I want to do now is I want to say if choice is equal to 1, I am going to search for this patient ID here. Alright. So what I want to do is tab U, right, good. So if choice is equal to 1, what do? I ask him for the patient. So I'm now integrating this function into my logic. My logic is simple. So while the choice is not 999, I am going to, pay attention to this indentation scalar, because indentation is a whole mark or 2 or something like that. I have the while loop. I know when the while loop is going to finish, which is here. right? And I have a if. I know when this if is going to finish because it lines up there. I have a next if here. I know when it is because this is the condition, the choice fit there. So that's how it's going to work. And this bracket here is the bracket for the whole main. Good? Right. So now let's see what the function looks like. So if I choose 1, it will go into asking me the ID to search for, status, and all that stuff, and then print it back out. Let's run it and see what happens. So welcome to the hospital. Search. I press 1. It's supposed to call the function to search for. Please enter the ID to search for. 111. Enter. Okay. Works. Let me just neaten it up. /n, /n. Patient.com, /n. Enter the ID to search for. /n. Anything else needs to be neatened up. To exit the program, 2 /n's there. Should have /n there. Alright, this is just making sure that it looks neat when it comes up. Oh, I should put in the clear screen too. Alright, as soon as the menu is called, I should call system CLS. I believe that's what it's supposed to be. Right, so you kind of notice what has happened there. Watch what happened really fast. It printed out all the stuff from before, but then it did a clear screen, and that clear screen allows me to not have all the junk in between. Well, all the stuff that I was printing back out. So I'll comment out this system CLS to show you all. Clear screen will clear the screen. So normally I would have all this printed out because remember this was my test to make sure that the function was the reading from the file was working properly. After I tested it, it's going to call the menu. But now, right before the menu stuff is going to be printed, I'm going to put this clear screen so that it will clear the screen and it will be nice and neat like that. So let's see what will happen. So if I press 1, it should call the function. Should call this function to search for the ID, right? According to the menu. 1. Good. Please enter the ID you want to search for. I'll put 111. It cleared the screen one time. Why do that for way? And you clear the screen immediately. Wait, 111 is a person? Let's try this again. 111. Yeah, this clear screen causing problems. Alright. Fix after. 111. Nobody. 222. Nobody. No 111 supposed to give me a SpongeBob? What's your problem? Alright, so these are the kind of problems you're going to face in life. Let's see if we can fix this problem quickly. 111. Oh no, I have to choose. Sorry. 1 to search for patient ID 111. Right, patient found. His name is SpongeBob. The menu comes back up. Right. Let me put back on the clear screen now. I was kind of rushing it. Try one more time. 111. Patient in a SpongeBob, yeah, but the clear screen pop back up one time, so take out the clear screen. Where's the best place to put that clear screen, boy? That clear screen will come. Patient was not found. Alright, I'll show you where to put our clear screen next week when I kind of figure out, because I don't want to confuse anybody. Remember, this is supposed to be simple. Alright, so 1, search for the patient ID, 111, I got something. Patient ID, found here, name SpongeBob. Thanks. 1, enter ID 222, the patient was not found. And this will keep looping over and over and over and over and over until I put in 999. When I put in that 999, that's it there. Alright, so this is the code so far. Before I close off, I have the structure which is going to be aligned with the text file that I have. ID, surname, first name, age, and status. Then I have a menu function. The menu function is going to display the things that I want my program to do, which will be four things and 999 to exit. It's going to scan the choice and return the choice. This next function is going to do a search for a particular ID and print out that ID to the screen and return 0 or return 1. Then I have the variables then I have my main. Main is the important part. I declare the variables I want, declare the area structures, open the file. We did all this in the last video. The while loop to read the stuff on the file, all the fscanfs, and then the for loop to print back out all the information from the file, which is printfs. And then the new stuff we did today was choice and menu. So we create a variable called choice, call the menu. Menu will do all the stuff it's supposed to do and give us back a number, which is what the person would have chosen here. Choice. And then after I get the choice, I'm going to see while the choice is not equal to 999. So if the choice is not equal to 999, I keep looping over and over. Then inside here I have if choice is 1, and I'm going to print enter patient ID to search for, and then it will search. It will get a variable called search, and then it will call the search function. Search function is called ID search. It expects the array of structures, which is P. It expects the search and expects the size. And if the status is 1, that I get back returned here. I put the patient is not found. And then before the while loop finishes, I have to call back the menu because I want this to keep looping as long as the person doesn't put in 999. And this is really straightforward here. It's not breaking it down into excessive amounts of functions because your IA just requires 5 functions. And that's it. Any questions? Somebody said, in the chat. I wonder why. Some mosquitoes kind of biting right now. Ooh. Sorry for yawning there. Alright, so next week we will put in more functions. We'll put in the other functions to do the other searches. And then the following week we'll write it. We'll print it our file. So we have the input file, and then we have the output file, and then we will have everything that the IA needs. So next week, how much functions we have so far? We have 2 functions so far, menu and ID search. So we have to create 3 more functions, and those 3 functions will be worded, critical, and discharge, which are 3 other searches. And that'll be the 5 functions. We will print these outer output files, and then basically that's our whole IA there in a nutshell. So we good? Alright, as usual, if you have questions, put it in the chat, in the comments. Those of you struggling, I have a special class going on right now on Wednesdays. So I have a special ComSci class going on Wednesdays that will kind of run through the whole syllabus as fast as possible. So you can check them out. As the number there. makeITsimpleTT is Instagram, message on Instagram. You could also message on YouTube too, I'll get those messages, but for some reason it's come about half an hour late. Really not too sure why, but we should be good there. If there are no questions from the live people, I will be departing now. Unless you have a question. I'll just take a little IG look before. Okay. Goodbye.